Hello and welcome to the summer edition of Talking with Forest Park, your window to your city. I'm very fortunate to have with me today at the roundtable, as always, City Manager Ray Hodges. Ray, glad you could join us.
Glad to be here once again.
You are bringing such wonderful guests as always, and of course recurring guests as well. Starting off our first segment today, recurring guest and friend of show, Wright Gwynn of Forest Park Environmental. Right?
Always a pleasure.
Glad you could join us as always. Ray, you're bringing him on because he's bringing in more wonderful programs to the city?
Yeah, actually, as you well know, we like to change the program up and bring on a lot of different people. And we brought on a few people for the first time, but we want to bring Wright back in particular because he's working on some very exciting programs that are going to benefit the community, benefit the residents, and we need to get the message out of the work that he's doing. So we're glad to have Wright with us again.
Always,
Thank you.
always right. You know, it looks like, according to notes here, that you already started a program that started at the beginning of this month.
Right.
Brand new program.
Right.
For attic insulation.
And air sealing.
And air sealing. This is, again, we've been talking a lot of home improvement projects that the city has partnered with various agencies to
Right.
help. This is, again, a new program, similar concept, new program.
Right, and the key word that you used was partner. We do have a pretty comprehensive comprehensive home improvement program consisting of two partners, really, or two groups of partners. For the lower level income that can maybe get home improvements done at no cost, we were working with people working cooperatively. And those people that are outside of that income level, a higher income level, we have developed, and this is the new program, a partnership with 4 contractors.
Okay.
Now, these contractors, 3 of the contractors I worked with in 2011 and 2012, and a little bit in 2013, when we first started doing insulation in the houses and things like that. And I told them just, after that kind of ended, I said, don't lose touch, because the odds are we're going to develop something else. And then we found a contractor in Forest Park who wanted to join in. And so we had several different meetings. We talked over how the program was going to go, what kind of services we wanted to provide, and we all came back to doing something very simple, very clean, very easy to understand, and the biggest bang for your buck, so to speak. And that came down to air sealing and insulation in the attic.
From your standpoint, obviously you've dealt with varying parts of the environmental portion of home maintenance. We've watched these programs grow. Obviously, you're saying bang for your buck, but why this particular? Why wasn't it back to windows or something to that effect?
Because of the way that the heat escapes from the house, if you don't have a really sealed attic, it goes right through your ceiling.
Basically, you're spending money through your roof.
But if you want to do the whole picture, in which we did in 2011, it gets really expensive. But you can do the double pane, triple pane windows. You can do the seals around the doors and the windows and things like that. You can also do insulation in the walls and underneath your basement, on the ceiling and things of that nature. That can get awfully expensive. If you had to pick one thing, everything that I've read says if you got to pick one thing that will make the biggest difference, it would be your attic, because it stops the heat from rising out of your house, and if you seal it so that the cold air doesn't come in, then it says like 40% of the heat loss might go through your ceiling.
Wow.
So if you can stop that with one simple little thing, then the home is a lot more comfortable, and you save a little bit of money as well.
I guess also looking the fact that we have an older population of homes within Forest Park.
do.
So that's something that some of them may even have deteriorated, I guess that's a good word to use, deteriorated insulation for their attic, or none at all.
Or none at all. We've had a couple reports. Part of this program is you get a free assessment. So they'll go into your house, they'll check your attic, they'll check the air sealing and everything, and they'll report back, and they'll do a door blow test. And that will also give us information on how much the air leaks out of the house and how much air goes into your house.
Okay.
And so you get a free assessment of that, and then once we put insulation and air seal your attic, then we do the door blow again. And you can see a reduction in the amount of airflow that goes through your house. So what we're trying to do is we can do all of these little things and really make it a tight house. I know one of our council members, Diane Hervey, did the Cadillac of programs in 2011. She did the ceilings, she did the walls, she did the basement. I mean, she can't even hear traffic outside of the house.
Wow.
And she said, oh, this is great. But that costs a little bit of money. What we're trying to do is help people that might not have a lot of money, but we can make a difference with the money that they have.
What kind of savings are we looking? I mean, we're talking bang for your buck, things like that, but what kind of reduction or savings are we looking at for a typical household?
Well, let's look at the cost of the program first,
Okay.
because there's savings in that as well. As I said, we have partners. Not only do we have contractors that have agreed to a certain price limit, which Ray helped me kind of figure out how to do that. Everyone agreed on this not to exceed a certain price range.
Sure.
So all four, even though some bid higher, they said, no, we'll come back down. And so we've got 4 contractors that won't exceed a certain amount. Okay, so that's a savings right there a little bit. Then we have the Forest Park Environmental Subsidy. So our program, the environmental program, will provide up to 50% of the cost, up to a total cost of $2,000. So if the cost of the home improvement is $2,000, you will receive a subsidy right off the bat of $1,000 from the Forest Park Environmental Program. But there's more.
Okay, so we're already $1,000 off.
We're already $1,000 off. All 4 contractors are qualified to give a Duke Energy rebate, and that's $250.
Okay, so you're
But that might come 30 days after the project has been completed.
Correct.
But we did get an invoice 2 days ago. It was the first house that was completed. The total cost was $1,780,
okay.
and they ended up paying $677.
It's an amazing savings just off the bat, right there.
Off the
We're not
bat,
even
right there.
talking-
We're not talking about energy or energy
Right.
bills or anything. So that's a big savings there. But then, of course, you are then making the house cooler during the summer, warmer during the winter, and so you need your air conditioning or your heating units on as much.
And obviously we don't have the statistics or numbers because obviously the program just started in July, so we're not seeing the savings that the individual would receive on their heating or cooling bill. But you can probably estimate you're going to see that great reduction when it comes
You will
down.
receive a reduction. It all depends also on the rest of the house.
That's fair.
So you will,
Again, we've talked about
right. And if they
an
want to
older
do
home.
more work, they're welcome to talk to the contractors and stuff. But that's outside of our program,
Correct.
and so they'll have to pick up that cost in its totality on that.
I'm not sure if Ray will take this or Wright you'll take this, but obviously you said one of the contractors is actually a Forest Park business. That is obviously something that's important to the city, that we use the businesses within our community. Is there not enough businesses that would be able to do this, but we're very thankful for the business that we were able to have from our area participate?
I definitely think it's probably more the latter, and I think Wright had to do a little work just to make sure that we could try to find somebody in Forest Park. We ideally wanted somebody in Forest Park. We have a lot of businesses, but we don't necessarily have every business
That's fair.
of every type. So sometimes you don't have a local business, but in this case we did, right? You were fortunate to find that.
Right. Well, it was Rafik Nakuzi. He's our building director, and he says, "Right, why don't you contact these people?" I'd never heard of them, but they've been around for quite a while.
But that's great that you had someone within the Forest Park area and within the office itself to say, let me recommend this person.
Rafik knows everybody in Forest Park. He's
That
been,
is true.
he's been
That
here
is
longer
true.
than me. So yeah, he said, you need to contact these guys. And I don't know about the other guys because they're outside of Forest Park.
Fair.
But I know them. But Rafik said, yeah, these are pretty good. This is a pretty good company.
Right.
So
that actually expanded our pool, but Wright mentioned it, and I think he should emphasize the point that we wanted to have a program where residents made the selection of who did the work. So
Right.
comment on that a little further.
Yeah, that is a great point, yeah.
Well, we started out, we could have done it with one contractor
Sure.
or 2 contractors and things like that. We were kind of figuring out what to do, tell you the truth. And so I sent out a feeler to 3 of the contractors I'd worked with before, asking if they would be interested in maybe pursuing something like this. And they all came back and said, yeah, just let us know. And then Rafiq told me about, well, don't forget this one. And so we pulled them all together, and we had several different meetings. We drew up an agreement, formal agreement. We had it reviewed by our lawyer and everything, and we bid it out, and then we averaged out everything. And we all came to the conclusion that we can do this. Now, everybody's on the same level.
Okay.
And residents are welcome to contact anybody they want to, or two of them, or three of them, whichever they feel most comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And once they choose their contractor, they will go in, do the free assessment, and then they'll go ahead and do the improvements. And then I've asked the contractor to make sure that they give them a survey that we've written up, and with a self-addressed stamped envelope, and ask them to complete the evaluation and send it. It goes directly to me so I can review it, and that monitors the program. We also get from the contractor the square footage that they're going to be insulating, so that we can compare what the prices should be to make sure that we have some kind of a price control on that as well. But these four contractors are very excited, and like we've had several calls already. We've got one already done. We have 3 lined up, and we've got a couple others that are almost close. And this was not even 30 days yet.
I was going to say, we're just in the peak of July going in. You're already seeing a jump at this. Do you think it's going to be one of these programs that will take off, especially now when we're supposedly in the heat of summer, and then going into eventually that really depressing part where it's cold
Very
winter?
cold.
Yeah.
All I can say is, if I was in Forest Park, I'd be jumping on this. Because I think it's a good program. I think the price, you can't get much better.
Sure.
I know that the installation value of the house that we have already done was R10.
Okay.
Okay, and R10 is not, it's like
That
paper
is,
thin.
yeah.
Paper thin. And what we're doing is we're insulating not only to the 2017 codes, but the codes are changing in 2018.
So you're
it
already
was
preparing.
36, R36 or 39. We are going to insulate already to R48 or 49,
Wow.
because that's what the new codes will be next year. So we're adding another layer of insulation.
So by the time we come back next year and talk about this program at its first year of completion, are you positive in your speculation that this is going to be a program that will work and you're going to see a lot of savings in the city? When it comes to residents, obviously.
When it comes to residents, I think it's going to be a very positive program. I think the people who participate are going to be very pleased with the program. It's my responsibility to promote the program, and it's also the contractor's responsibility to promote the program. So if we get the word out to the public, I think we won't have any trouble with finding people who might want to participate.
Ray, we've seen a number of iterations of home improvement programs. Looking at a program like this, do you find that it is really a benefit for the city to say, hey, we're here to protect you, and here's another means for us to protect you as well, by saving you money and keeping you warm or cool in the heat and cool of the months?
Right. Well, definitely as part of the public safety responsibility that we carry out, but also just for the general welfare of the community. To think that you can offer a program that will provide a savings initially from the start, but then month after month, year after year. For the general welfare of the community, that's important for us. And we've talked to a number of people that would like to do more with their property, to be able to invest in their property and keep their property up, but they're limited in their funds. This will allow them to maybe do what they want to do with a little assistance, and making progress there will give them opportunity to go on to other things, make other improvements in the community. And then in the end, that's what it's about: maintaining the community, improving the community, making it a very comfortable place for residents to live.
And I think you said a key word, maintain, and not just maintain like the outward appearance or maintain that, but maintaining the population. This may also be that great key for people who may see a home that's in the area, come to Forest Park. Here's the reasons why. And these wonderful programs that Wright and the other portions of the city are able to offer.
Exactly. So, Wright, we certainly appreciate your work. You're doing a great job on this. And Jason, we appreciate you helping us get the word out for residents to take advantage of this program.
Absolutely.
Right.
Of course, you know, you can give them a call, obviously, 595 LAND.
Right.
The website will have it as
They
well.
can go to my website, and right on my front page, homepage, there is home improvement programs. Just click on that. It talks about both programs, the PWC program and also the attic insulation and air sealing. And there's a chart that has income levels with a number of people in the household. And if you're above that level, go down to the attic insulation. If it's above, and if it's below that level, talk to the people working cooperatively. They might be able to help you at no cost.
And at some point, the city is going to be able to help you one way or another.
We're going to try everything we can. And if they are confused about anything that they read, yes, my phone number's on it, and I'd love to talk to them.
Excellent. As you can see, he's very easy to speak with, and we could talk for days.
We
obviously.
always can.
We always can.
Yes, we can.
have other places to go.
I'm on a limit. Yeah,
We do have other people in the city. But right, thank you for joining us and bringing this wonderful program to the city of Forest Park. It is. I can't wait to talk about it next year to see the savings that has incurred here in the city.
Should be interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll bring that data along.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back here on Talking with Forest Park with some very interesting information coming up in the near future.
Jermaine Hill from your Forest Park Fire Department. How I got involved with We Thrive, Hamilton County Public Health approached us about doing projects that are community related. The fire department, of course, was all in. It's all about the community. The fire department, we're here to serve. We want to be servant leaders. Anything that the community wants, we try to provide. It's not just about fire and EMS, you know, that's what we signed up for, of course, but it's all about community relation. As a firefighter, I want to see more people from Forest Park be a part of the fire department. I want the students at the high school to become employees of the city, because if you guys know the city and you know your neighbors and everything, it just means that much more as far as better patient care, expeditiously getting to those details, knowing the city, the little ins and outs and things like that. It just works better. Over 70% of our student body is below the poverty line. With poverty, obesity follows, so we wanted to do something that we could immediately impact the community. So we started initiatives like the Firefighter Fitness Drill, where we do an obstacle course centered around firefighter activity. We give out packets talking about health and diet and exercise, etc. And also the We Thrive initiatives.
My name is Rebecca Evers. I'm a police officer with the City of Forest Park. We've started a new position this year called the Community Response Specialist, and in that I get the privilege to go out, talk with people, meet with people, interact with them, and just try to show the community a different side to the police force, show them the caring side, and to get more involved with them. And when Jermaine invited me to the We Thrive initiative, it was the perfect opportunity to be able to get out, interact with the people, and a healthier community is good for everyone. It's good for the fire department, it's good for the police department, it's good for the community.
Well, I'm Michelle Sneed. I am the owner of Fit Life Training Center. I became involved probably about a few months ago, but it's something that I've been looking to do to get involved inside the community. Outside of being a parent in the community and a resident in the community, I've helped out before at the schools when they had a fit camp after school. Taught a little cardio kickboxing to some students. So childhood obesity is really an important thing, and just really family health. The children, they have to learn from the adults, and sometimes the adults have to learn from the children.
The Fitness Bootcamp Saturdays are sponsored by Interact for Health, and we are a part of the We Thrive Forest Park group. If you are interested in becoming a part of We Thrive, or if you just want to, if you have some ideas, if you want to learn what we're talking about, if you want to direct us in some way, we have our meetings every last Wednesday of the month. But the meetings start at 3 o'clock and we end around 5 o'clock. So every last Wednesday of the month, come see us. You can call me, Jermaine Hill, at 513-595-5291, and I can give you exact dates and tell you about all the exciting stuff that we're doing with We Thrive.
And welcome back to Talking with Forest Park. I'm Jason Grzgorek, your host, still joined by Ray Hodges, City Manager, as always, and we played a little bit of musical chairs and brought in a brand new guest here. We've had many people from the city, but this is a first for us. We have an intern from the city.
Right. As I had mentioned in the other segment, we try to change things up and introduce people to other folks that are doing work within the city, and we're very fortunate to have Sierra Lewis with us today. She's been working with us for a while in the administrative area, human resources area, and it's a great opportunity for us to see some of the up-and-coming administrators for the city and the general region. So, Sarah, we're very glad to have you with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Sierra, for joining us. From what I understand, this is not your first year as an intern. This is your third year, correct?
Yes, it is.
And what school are you attending?
I go to Wright State University.
Go Warriors.
It's Raiders.
Raiders. You know, it's a good thing I didn't go there. I was going to. I lived in northern Ohio area, Dayton area, so I should have known better.
It's okay.
I've just watched the mascot change enough.
Okay, yeah, it has changed a lot.
What brought you down to the city of Forest Park?
Well, it was a great opportunity to intern with the city, and I really wasn't familiar with my local government, so I was able to have a connection with Ty Smith. So
Excellent.
He gave me the opportunity to be an intern, and I've been here this is my third summer, and I graduate next spring. So I'm able to just really learn a lot from this experience and take it along for my classes and stuff. So.
For the viewing audience, obviously, we've talked beforehand and kind of seen your stepping stones. What we're going to be culminating to is what I am most excited to talk about. But you've started, obviously, small with what you've done and to today where you are.
Right.
Well, could you tell people exactly your small starts to where you are, and then we'll really get into the heart of the matter.
Okay, well, my first year interning with Forest Park, I kind of just shadowed around the different directors and different departments within the city to get a general idea of what I would be more comfortable in. And then my last summer, I worked on the graffiti ordinance with Chris Anderson to implement that within the city. And then this year, I've been working on the Forest Park Community Day.
And that is a big deal because it's nice to see something of a gathering of the community. This is a big undertaking.
Yes, it is.
Let's start from its humble beginnings. Obviously, you are kind of in charge here.
Yeah.
And you should be very proud of it. Good for you.
Yes.
Good smile on that. What made you decide, or who was helping you guide you to get to a community day, and what do you think it's going to entail, and how do you think it's going to go?
Well, I think it's going to go well. Ty Smith was the one to kind of tell me when I first started the internship this summer. It was like, we're thinking about having a community day, and we've been having meetings about kind of our ideas that we have about it. So after that, we just continued to have the meetings and brought in organizations and sponsors for the community day and what we want it to look like. So we'll have a lot of different organizations, local organizations that will be a part of the community day, and we'll have the police and fire department, their safety service vehicles. We'll even have kind of stuff from the young to the old, so we'll have games for the kids, and then we'll also have line dancing and ballroom dancing from our Forest Park seniors, so that should be very interesting.
Sounds like it's a mesh of everything, which
Yes.
is great. Ray, this sounds very familiar of a meshing of two separate parts of community involvement that we've seen in the past. The old Forest Park Night Out and a little bit of the CR days. So we're going kind of way back. Was that part of that idea of that merging of old and new and bringing things back?
Well, we weren't necessarily trying to blend two activities together as much as we were trying to just gather the ideal of, well, what is the community spirit? And let's have a festival. Let's enjoy each other's being within the community. Let's bring people together from other segments. All of those elements were part of what we have done in the past. So in thinking of doing this, we couldn't help but reach back a little bit to the past and say, yeah, people loved community night out. They love the interaction with our police and fire services. Since the time that we stopped sponsoring those programs, we consistently had people come back to us and say, you know, well, why don't you do whatever that program was, you know, and they don't necessarily remember the name, but they remember the activity.
Sure.
So that's one of the things that we wanted to do, and I think just by the nature of the activities, yes, we're reaching back and we're blending the events of the past to bring forth what we think is going to be a better program.
And I think that's what we can do, is we can take what we learned what was working best and making it even a better program. Your event actually happens after a weekend that's been a very large weekend in the city of Forest Park, which is obviously Jazz in the Park. Was there any thoughts to maybe even merging those two, or did you want to make something completely different?
I think that was more the city's decision of making them separate programs or events.
Sure. It's two great ways to bring the community together, and obviously it's almost like a prelude. You get the Jazz in the Park, come back in a couple days, and we'll do this all over again and have a really good time together.
Right, and of course Jazz in the Park is a very successful program. So successful, I don't think we really want to tamper with that very much. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the city assists with the Jazz in the Park. We are not really the sponsor of Jazz in the Park. That's another entity that's doing the program. The city does a great amount of assistance to make it successful, but it's not the city's program in terms of sponsorship.
Right.
It's the city's program in terms of identification. People know Jazz in the Park is a very exciting, special event in Forest Park. So we didn't want to tamper with that.
It's good as a made of host. You're the fine host of it, whereas Community Day is our day, our day to shine.
Right.
You had mentioned some of the activities that are going on. Is there obviously some things for the kids, some things for the adults? It's a very big merging. Obviously, one of the big things that bring people together is food. Is there going to be food there?
Right. We'll have hot dogs and hamburgers. We'll also have Kona Ice to come and have some of their shaved ice. And we'll have chips and drinks like that.
So for those who aren't familiar, that Community Day is Tuesday, August 8th.
Yes.
Starting at?
5:30 to 8:30.
And where would we be all gathering?
In the Winton Woods High School parking lot.
And fun will be had by all. Now, obviously, people can come in, and I noticed you have a piece of paper in front of you. That important piece of paper is a survey, I understand?
Yes, it is. It's the Forest Park Public Opinion Survey, and we're going to be passing that out around to people and kind of getting their opinion about like the services that are within the city and kind of their suggestions of what they want to see within the city also. So we will also be, when people turn these sheets in, we'll be raffling off 5 gift baskets, and they have to come to the event to get those gift baskets.
Well, it's not that it's a bad thing. Come and enjoy the day.
Yes.
And you may walk away with something else other than a sense of pride and community.
Yes.
And I don't want to give away anything of the gift baskets, but they're good gift baskets.
Yes, they're really good gift baskets. I put them together myself.
Now, I think you have maybe some themes of those baskets or so, without necessarily talking about all the little elements that make them up, but you have a few.
Yeah, there's like a wind down type of gift basket. There's like a I really don't want to give
You don't
it
want to give
away.
It's good enticement.
Right, so it'll be
At least it'll
exciting.
bring
So you
people.
already know it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. As you can tell, we are not necessarily tongue-tied, but we are really excited about, again, a day for the community to come together. Again, that's August 8th.
Yes.
Starting at what time again?
5:30 to 8:30.
5:30 to 8:30,
Yes.
Winton Woods High School parking lot.
Yes.
This is going to be some big accomplishments for you. Are you excited about seeing your fruits of your labor for the summer actually come to a fruition here?
Yes, I am. It's very exciting just putting this all together, and then the day of the event, just seeing how it all turns out. I'll also be Facebook Living it, so people in the community can also be enticed by like, oh, this organization is there. So it'll be a great time.
Speaking of organizations, did you find it difficult to get any of the organizations to participate?
It wasn't too difficult. A lot of the organizations within the community were very excited to be a part of it, so it wasn't very difficult.
Well, it's going to be a great day to gather everyone together, and it was a wonderful chance to introduce yourself and for me to introduce myself to you.
Thank
Glad
you.
that you were able to join, and good luck in graduating.
Thank
Because
you.
I know you're excited.
Yes, I am.
And what is your major?
Political science, and I'm minoring in urban affairs.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
And we
you.
look forward to seeing the great things that happen in August 8th, in the Winton Woods High School parking lot. Ray, it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful day to get together. So I hear that the steppers are going to be there. Are you going to be strutting a step here and there?
Well, if they give me a chance, I'm almost certain to get out there with them at least for a minute or two. But in the meantime, I certainly want to thank Sierra for being with us today, because one of the things I want to emphasize that she's been here, she's been doing a great job for us, and this is just another example because she came on here on very short notice. We were thinking in terms of how we were going to put this program together today, and we thought it would be just wonderful to say that, well, we got some folks here that you haven't seen, you haven't met, but they're doing some great things. They'll probably be a great employee for someone, and let's introduce them to the community. So Sierra came on and did a wonderful job. As I say, on short notice. This isn't pre-rehearsed and anything like that. So we certainly thank her.
It was a perfect opportunity for her to speak about, again, a project that is going to be seen throughout the community, and I think she'll be very proud of it once it gets off the ground on Tuesday. Well, that concludes our time. I told you it wasn't going to be too rough. Ray, I want to thank you for joining us, as always, giving the information to the city, for the city, to the city.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
Always. And I want to thank you for joining us as well. You have had the opportunity to talk with those in the know here on Talking with Forest Park. Enjoy your summer, and we will see you again next time.